Hey everybody, I'm Kyle. There's Ian. And there's Joey.
Joey.
And there's Honey.
It's Honey.
Last week's video was The Guards Themselves Part 2.
And
these are the comments. From Bob-Omb72. I really enjoyed this genre, the whole superhero villain being commonplace. I think you guys did a good job of creating a believable world.
Thanks!
We put a lot of work into that.
Yeah.
That's actually my favorite comment so far, I think.
Yeah,
so
no, that's
do
good.
that one first.
It also justifies all the time we spent on the news crawls.
There's a lot of detail we put into it. If you rewatch a couple times and pay attention to little things.
You have to rewatch it a lot
like we
to
did.
catch a lot of the
I
stuff.
actually forgot most of it.
From Burnt Elf. Hi, Burnt Elf.
Hey, Bertel.
Ah, ha, ha, ha. Sandbar shirt. I love it. This is really great, and I'm really looking forward to the next part. Thanks!
Those were some of the details we added, actually, were all the stuff we piled up around Joey's apartment.
That whole
Yeah,
part.
Which we can
that
talk about
apartment
more.
looked like that for like 6 months.
We mentioned the apartment in the last one of these videos, but nobody had seen it yet, so now we can actually talk about it, because you're
yeah,
here.
it
And
didn't normally
everybody-
look like that.
That was, Joey just let us go in and set up the set in his apartment,
Yeah.
and then he just lived in
For
it.
continuity reasons, you didn't want
For the
to
next
mess
2
it up.
months.
I was living in the anarchist's underground lair for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Absurd and unreasonable, and thank you. There's no reason for you to have agreed to that for any.
It was great.
We had the wanted posters. A lot of the wanted
yeah.
posters were like little in jokes. Like
I
there was a
forgot
guy
about
who was
those.
wanted for public intoxication, so I put him upside down.
And those were all like members of our crew and stuff that are
Yeah.
sketched onto those.
Yeah, Hoppa was on, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was the photo bomber, and in
Yeah.
one shot, Ian cleverly put him like
Our
peeking
director
out
of
from
photography.
behind somebody else.
It's kind of disappointing that it's just impossible to see.
There are a ton of little things on that center thing, like because we have like cans of spray paint and Molotov cocktails sitting
Oh,
everywhere.
There's a TARDIS stuck somewhere.
Yeah, there's a TARDIS randomly. There's
By
books.
a brief history of time.
All the books are
There's the
interesting.
jukebox with
Um,
stuffed raccoon sitting there.
Yeah, all the flags. People were talking about the flags.
Yeah, there we had
Yeah.
lots of
So I
flags.
think, and it was great.
The whole point of the flags was just supposed to be like, well, the point of it was the bunker was supposed to be sitting there for a long time. I think somebody mentioned it was like an
Like a
old
Cold War bunker,
which was
yeah.
the most correct. It was supposed to be like that, but it was also supposed to be. It's a group of anarchists. They don't really
It's not like a
associate themselves
nationality,
with
yeah.
one government or anything, so they just have all these random flags
Which
in there from whoever was using it before.
did not stop us from getting accused of being Nazis.
That was
in-
really weird.
in the
Remember that?
trailer.
No.
That was
It
when we released the trailer, Tom Scott shared it, and so his fan base, I guess, got sent over there, and we got 3. It was 3 separate comments talking about how they were uncomfortable with the
Nazi
neo-Nazi
Nazi.
Japan flag being in there.
So apparently, as somebody explained
So-
in that comment, it's because it's red and white like the Nazi flag was, but inverted.
I looked it up,
Yeah.
and it's not that.
No, I mean it's not. It's
They were just incorrect. Like,
Yeah.
it's
It's
just
not like
the
we did that on
Japanese
purpose.
war flag. It was like the maritime flag or something.
Okay,
of
yeah.
I mean,
theirs.
it was the Imperial Japanese military flag sort of deal, but I think it got used by neo-Nazis at some point for something, or maybe they thought it did.
It's
I don't
really-
know.
The weird thing was it was 3 separate
I mean,
people.
the
so it was
swastika
one
is still
person.
a good luck symbol in India, so...
If it had been one person, I could have just been like, "Oh, that's an internet thing." But because 3 people came in, it's like, "What are you talking about? Why is this?" I mean, I guess you could be offended by it if you were one of the countries that got invaded by Japan.
Yeah.
But I mean-
But if that's the case, most of the world would be offended because the British flag is in there too.
The map actually was an old
Oh, yeah, the map.
Soviet
Yeah.
Union.
Yeah, you
like,
actually had a Soviet era flag in
Soviet
his
era
apartment.
flag, Soviet era
or a map, not flag.
Yeah, map.
Yeah. So
And it still had USSR, and it had like...
yeah, it
all
actually
the-
Russia is labeled USSR
Yeah.
on the map.
Anthony, Kingston. These videos just keep getting better and better. Can't wait to see when Noam's bag comes in handy. As well as Messier's backstory, if it's shown.
Bum 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 bum.
So I just wanted to address this just so that people didn't have expectations that weren't met later.
The bag is useless.
Well, yeah.
Never comes in
Magic
play.
bag.
I was going to say
The rest of the 2 parts are just the Messier's backstory. We drop the plot, and it's just an extended flashback for the next 40
And
minutes.
then it just ends.
from Storm Crash. Love the Rotary Dial sounds. So that was another one of those things that I forgot actually.
Yeah.
Just that I don't even. Why did we come up with that?
Because you found the phone thing on Amazon, you're like, I kind of want it, and you got it, and then we
Yeah,
used it. That was
I actually
it.
just found the handset, and I thought, what? It'd be funny if it was in the bag. I don't know why. Like, there's all these weird things that I forget they're weird because I've been working with this stupid movie for so long. But yeah, no, he just has like a rotary phone in his bag along with electrical cables, and it was like it was our version of the sonic screwdriver. That was the original idea.
Kinda,
the
yeah.
magic bag. It was It was just the device that can do whatever you sort of need it to do as long as it doesn't directly affect the plot.
Unless it does.
Unless it does.
Which it doesn't. From Mega Nitro 69. Messier's costume is wonderful. I must have it.
Just like throwing all this
He
stuff
has
in.
his gloves and boots labeled left and right as if he couldn't quite
Oh
figure
yeah,
it out
I
on his
forgot
own.
about that.
I forgot
Yeah.
that.
That was good. And his mask is labeled head on the side if you notice it. His
And
whole cost, he was, I think he's one of my favorite characters. Me and Reed had a lot of fun developing him. Even his armor, Reed built his armor and just added some weird character to the armor. And in some of when the lighting's right, you can notice that he has this bloody handprint smeared across one side of his face.
It's hard to see, but it's there.
He does this really weird run the entire time too, which was all, I'm sure it was a combination of Reed having a weird run to begin with, and then being shoved inside this
limited visibility,
this rubber suit with this helmet had to like screw into the back of his head. Yeah. Like you had to put this thing on and then like tighten this crank on the back to make it stay on his head.
And he couldn't see.
So the whole character, feel free to develop whatever backstory you want on him because anything will be valid, really.
From Urtex. I like it. Is he microwaving cereal at timestamp? Who does that?
His entire character is like not actually even present in the movie. He's just doing his own thing the whole time. I love everything Jeffrey does in the background of all those scenes.
Well, you know what's funny about that was I actually came home after you guys were filming. I think I had to leave, and I came back, and I'm there with my roommate, and he wasn't there for filming. And we're talking about other stuff, and he goes to put something in the microwave, and he just pulls out this bowl of cereal out of the microwave, and he just stares at me. And I wasn't there for it, so I had no idea what was going on. So I'm like, maybe they put microwave cereal? I don't know.
I discovered during filming that thing that I really enjoy filming too many characters trying to move around and do things in a small space.
Everybody doing their own little
terrible,
thing.
by the way.
It's miserable during the process, but it's really fun. I think I could really get into directing those scenes. Because I don't have to be in it, I just have to tell other people what to do.
Scott wasn't even inside the kitchen at that point. He was still leaning over.
It means you have to get it right, because editing is kind of tough, because you have to make sure the continuity is super matched up, because everyone's overlapping with each other. But it looks really good when it works. You just have people walking around doing things in the entire scene. And we have a couple of kitchen shots in there that turned out really good. Because it's a smaller kitchen than it looked like, even on that frame, I think.
But it worked really well with that big thing.
Because it's just a hallway, really.
Yeah, it just happens to have a sink on one side.
Oh, God. Chrysidia. I think that's right.
We've done far worse.
Okay, good.
How you say it is correct. How they spelled it is wrong.
Chrysidia. Okay. I'm really getting into this now. Can't wait for the next part. I love JP as Mr. Justice. All of his lines are gold. Also, why is Noam's anarchist name Master Fusion? Is there something I missed, or will that make more sense later?
As far as the name goes, it's another one of those things that we just sort of came up with but didn't address. that was a lot of just going back to the whole world build. Like we came up with a lot of details
that aren't explained.
And we invented the world, but then we didn't really address every piece of the world as well. Like we just told a story within it. So in my mind, he has that name because it was an online username that he had beforehand, and that's where his name came from. Yeah. Richie's name came from seeing someone on the news call him the arsonist and assumed that was what he was called. And then Scott's name came up with the fact that he's really bad at coming up with names. Yeah. JP was amazing the entire time.
We had this issue, and by we, I mean us, not really JP, where we would have him do different takes on lines over and over again. We would do like this, okay, you're like, give me like this, and he would just be like, okay, fine, I'll give you another one, and then we would almost without fail use the first line every single time.
And he's not really like that in real life.
No, not at all. He's not remotely like that character. Yeah.
I think I only saw him in character the first time, and then I saw him walking around campus. And I was like, it's just a normal guy.
Yeah, no, he's just a dude.
Just a good actor.
The one thing we learned actually from this entire process is that everything you see in a movie, right after the take ends, everything just disintegrates. Everyone is hot and sweating, and there's tape and safety pins everywhere, and
Luckily, I'm wearing a mask most of the time, so you can't see me sweating my balls off.
Yeah, but even you could sometimes, because the front of the mask fogs
off. Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Just better the spray of blood I expected to show up at some point.
Jeffrey's full costume was miserable. He would have had... Reed had a right to complain because he was in the costume the entire time. Yeah. But if Jeffrey had been in it just as much, I think his might have been worse. I actually had to I had to record all the sounds, right? and so I had to make the sound of Jeffrey running. So I had to put the coat and the boots on and run in place just in my garage.
Nice.
And just that was like, I was just drenched and out of breath, and it was so horrible. And you had to run down that parking garage in that full outfit. Yep. Which, shout out to Michael, his roommate that found the cereal. Yeah. He was the human tripod in that shot that managed to get that running shot.
That was a good
Remember that?
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that, actually. We were having a lot of trouble, like, trying to, like, how are we going to get this shot of them running down this thing and make it smooth? We're going to have to get a car in here. And he was like, give me the camera.
Yeah.
And I handed the camera, and there's no shoulder support. There's no anything. He held the camera up like this and just sprinted while holding the camera out next to them.
It worked.
A little DSLR camera. It's not even like the one we're using where it has any weight to it. And it like matches
from Captain Kerfuffles. Captain Kerfuffles. I like it.
Is it Fuffles or Fluffles?
It's Fuffles.
Oh, okay.
Captain Kerfuffles. Only the highest quality fight scenes. I think that's a demand. I demand the highest quality fight scenes only.
Can't actually tell if you're being sarcastic in this, but I'm just going to keep talking about the fight.
Yeah.
That whole scene was we were at an apartment complex for that one.
Yeah.
And we ended up was it 3 separate days? Because we did the Crime Fighter signing stuff one day.
Yeah.
Where we had our extras come in. And that was I think I actually just asked people in my class that day.
Yeah, just friends, anybody.
Just people. I was like, hey, I need extras if you want to come do the thing, and they did.
Pretty much every one of our
that's like
shoots.
it's
right.
It's right by the Art Institute, right?
And yeah, a lot of students live there actually, so that.
I mean,
helped.
how many random people did I bring? Like
I don't even
every
know.
time.
I don't know how you
Different-
find people like that.
Living Nas to my entire life.
You're like the Pied Piper of extras.
We remembered yesterday that Zeke was on our project because you found him somewhere.
Yeah.
Like that was the only reason he was actually involved. But yeah, there was that one, and then there was one day with me and Cassie fighting.
Yeah.
And then there was the other day.
That was, I think, our only really
everything
choreographed
else.
fight was you and Cassie.
And yeah, that was our first because we did the Daredevil video recently, which went a lot smoother than that one.
Was it how much less smooth?
Oh yeah, no, Daredevil was way better.
Oh god.
me and Cassie. That one was by the end of that one, I was actually I like looked at her. I was like, just hit me. We're not gonna be able to get around this. Just hit me. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's gonna hurt. I don't care. We just need to get this done.
It's method acting at its best.
This is why I never even ask.
And
it's obviously the best way.
And she did. At one point, there's one shot where she like hits me in the side of the head, and that ear was messed up for the rest of that day. Oh. I couldn't really hear out of that.
Speaking of her pushing you in the head, I think the most consistent laugh I've gotten out of people I've seen who I've shown it to is her pushing you into that bush that once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody loves that. It's just.
That was the same thing. There's no way to fake this. Just push me in the bush.
Yeah.
Just.
We were literally just running around the place looking for things that you could.
That was the same location, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
same
I
location.
forgot. Yeah.
We were like, get up on that fence while we're pulling you down. Go over there. We're pushing you into a bush.
Yeah.
Time someone else gets punished besides me.
Yeah. I didn't even have the nice protective helmet or anything on. I just had to go in.
Thorny bush.
But on that day we also had there was this group of girls that were out playing in the apartment. Remember?
Yeah.
And they drew pictures of me and Cassie.
Oh,
did I show you those?
No,
I have them. I definitely have them. Those were just people
they
we
were
ran
just
into.
girls that were hanging out nearby. They were being really cooperative.
Yeah.
They were being quiet, and then they drew pictures of Noam.
We were about to leave, and they just came up and gave us these pictures that they drew of us.
Cute.
That was great. It was just a really difficult one to shoot actually, just because
it was fun though. I had a lot of fun that time.
I was super stressed out the entire time because remember this was still pretty close to when we'd almost gotten shot for making the Portal video.
Oh,
and I was like, we're in an apartment complex just with guns and stuff.
And that sniper rifle is super legit looking.
And you know what about that sniper rifle? We did not have to shoot that on an actual roof.
Because you can't tell at all.
You can't tell. My favorite shot
By the way, we shot that on an actual roof. We went up onto the roof of that parking garage with Reed in his costume and a sniper rifle and made it out of there alive. That happened.
My favorite bit is him looking through with it just pushed up against the glass.
That's another
just
Messier thing. Like, what is his anatomy at all that works? That he is somehow seeing through that thing at the bottom of his face.
We just had Zeke stand there with the sign, "Guns are fake."
We did have that. I forgot about that. I now have that sign. Guns are not real. Please do not call police.
Yeah. Which can't be, like...
I was surprised,
That
honestly.
doesn't seem like it's If you see a sign that says guns aren't real, please don't call the police, you should probably call the police.
Yeah.
Unless you see us, because ours is legit. But that seems like too easy of a way to get out of that. Like, oh no, I'm just filming robbing a store.
I mean, that's like the next plot for Ocean's 14 or whatever. It's going to be them making a movie and then robbing a bank.
That's what the police actually told us during the Portal video. They told us just call us and tell us you're doing a thing.
Yeah.
We thought, okay, that's nice to know. Also, couldn't we just do that if we really wanted to rob a place and then have you not show up?
Yeah.
That seems like a great way.
If anybody calls you at this bank, it's just fake. It's just fake guns.
It's just method acting.
Yeah, exactly.
We want to make sure that we just show them dial 911. It's all like,
Daniel Day-Lewis is on set.
And we weren't even
character.
we weren't even the worst cases at that school. I remember Travis and Thomas, who plays Lincoln, who I realize has not actually shown up for the second time yet.
yeah.
He's still only been in that one scene. But I guess I thought he was in more of the movie than that.
People were asking who he is.
But
He's in the next part pretty early.
yeah, and then
explained.
he's in the rest of the next two bits. But they were filming one thing once where I don't know what the movie was about, but it was somebody like pouring gasoline on this girl and setting her on
That's
fire.
right, yeah.
And the way they did that was they went under an overpass at night, lit it only with car headlights, had a very tiny camera, and poured something that looked like gasoline around a girl tied to a chair. So guess what? They had a lot of cops show up.
I filmed a detective movie one time right outside a post office, and we had 3 cop cars pull up on us.
Really? Did you have guns?
Yeah, we had lots of guns.
Oh,
and
God.
as soon as I saw the cop cars pull up, I was like, guys, just put the guns down. Step out of the car, put your hands up. And yeah, the cops came, guns drawn, everything. And then as soon as they realize you're filming a movie, they get like, oh, awesome, what movie are you guys filming about? And then they get really interested.
Well, it's always like what I said. Like when they walk around the corner and see a camera set up, they either know it's nothing to worry about or it's way worse than they thought.
Set E-Rop. Seriously, this should be a thing. And by that, I meant more than the 4 segments you're already planning. I don't know how to...
I cannot guarantee anything. I'm just going to leave it at that. I am so burnt out on this right now.
Definitely need at least a year break.
I would say at least make sure you actually like the full thing after the next 2 episodes come out. But yeah, like if we do, we have ways to continue it. Like purely from just a creative standpoint, there are definitely things we could do. But at this point, I hate it. I don't want to do anything with it anymore.
Don't listen to him. He loves it.
So,
It's his whole life.
Like you
He
got to
sleeps
give
with
me
the
at
guards
least a
themselves
year
pillow.
before I start anything
Should we have
again.
guards themselves pillows. We should have guards themselves pillows. I'm sure Zazzle can do
I'll
it.
buy one.
Oh no, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zazzle has everything.
Speaking of Zazzle and buying stuff with the guards themselves stuff on it, you can do that because I set up a store with merchandise on it. It's kind of limited at the moment.
What's
but,
the website?
I'll link it because we can do that straight from the YouTube video. Actually,
Yeah, it's right here.
Actually, no, it needs to be on somebody's face. That's how we usually do it. It's on.
I'll just keep moving so you can't do it
Okay,
on my
it's on
face.
Ian's face. The main movie poster and all the original promotional posters I have are on there currently, and we'll make shirts and stuff. Actually, suggest in the comments of this video, like lines that you've liked so far, and I can figure out how to make a T-shirt of those things.
Quotable
That'd be cool.
lines,
Yeah,
yeah.
like give us some quotes that you would like to have on a T-shirt or other things, and I'll figure out a way to do it. And then also we have an IMDb page for the movie, which is pretty cool. Ian's happy about that. So you can go check that out and rate it. I think there's a star rating system on IMDb. So
But if you rate it less than 9, the FBI arrests you.
I've heard about that.
It's unfortunate, but I think it's fair. So don't do that. For your safety.
So yeah, I went to just go to IMDb, type in the guards themselves, it'll show up, and then we all have pages now. You have to pay to put posters up on IMDb. I didn't know.
To put like just a film poster?
The image, yeah. It costs $35 to put it up there. Yeah.
That's stupid.
So I don't have a personal image up there or anything either because you have to pay for that too. You have to buy the IMDb.
Just put a
Pro
link
thing.
to the poster in the description.
Yeah.
But
they
could you
probably
just
cut
like
that
pay
out.
to put any picture up? Could you just pay to have a picture of Spider-Man put up for your page?
I don't know. Not sure how that works.
Caribbean.
So yeah, next week is part 3, and this Friday we're doing a screening of it
Screening.
for none of you, so I don't know why I'm telling you.
I'll be able to make it too.
You will?
I will.
Cool.
Yes.
So yeah, we're doing a cast and crew screening, and we should be able to have it up on Amazon soon. I've submitted it to the Amazon Instant Streaming Service. So.
That sounds so official.
Huh?
Just sounds so official. The
Yeah.
Amazon.
No,
streaming
it's all
service.
very weird. So you'll be able to buy the full. We'll announce it, and then if you want to buy the full movie before it's done coming out on YouTube,
How
then
much
you
is
can
the
do
full
that.
movie?
I think I suggested the price of $8, I think. But it said, they gave you an option to suggest the price, but it was like, we will have the final say on the price, so...
I don't know, maybe that's like either going to be like really heartwarming or really like, we think it's worth 37 cents.
Who decides that?
I don't know.
What kind of job is that?
Next week on the community comments, we should be having Cassie and JP, who played Spectacle and Mr. Justice, and also Sean, who played Sean, and will continue to play Sean in part 3.
He's brilliant. Honestly, my favorite actor in the whole thing.
We'll talk about Sean plenty in the next part. So yeah, see you next Friday.